Hi, I'm Allison. I am a literacy specialist and the author of the blog Learning at the Primary Pond. And I have a special, little bit of a different Facebook Live planned for you today. If you're joining us, feel free to jump in, say hi, and make sure to stick around because later on in the broadcast, I'm actually just decided I'm going to give away a $25 self-care gift card. So make sure that you comment and let me know that you're here. And later on, I will share how to win that. So I said that today is going to be a little bit different. A lot of times I'm talking about literacy topics, teaching stuff. And today we're going to shift gears a little bit and talk about self-care. So we're going to talk about what self-care is, why it matters so much. I'm going to share some tips for taking care of yourself during this busy holiday season, but really all year long because teaching is just a stressful job. And then at the end, I'm also going to talk about some little tips to help you actually follow through with this stuff because I know for me, sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that, and then it just doesn't happen. So I'll definitely be sharing those at the end. And again, at some point, I'm going to share how you can win a $25 self-care gift card. So make sure you comment, just say hi, let me know you're here. And also just let me know if any of these tips resonate with you or these are things you do or want to try. Hi, Gay, so glad you're here. Okay, so first, let's talk about what self-care is. Sounds pretty obvious, right? It's taking care of yourself. And so that includes so many different things. That includes your physical well-being. So like eating well, making time for exercise, making time to go to the doctor if something is wrong, going to the dentist, all that boring adulting stuff that's sometimes not so fun. Making sure that if you are feeling anxious, and I know that's more of like a mental thing, but it can also be like a physical thing too, that you take time to breathe and take care of yourself and calm yourself down. And speaking of the mental side, self-care includes things like, and let me know what I'm missing, taking time to unwind, not going all day long and then diving straight into bed. It means, managing your feelings and managing your relationships with others, making time for those relationships, having time to think about your life and what you're doing. All of those things, and I know I've missed some, but all of that comes into what I call self-care. Hey, Lauren, glad you're tuning in. Hey, Alicia. Hi, Natasha, Belisi, welcome, guys. So all of that comes into self-care, right? It's basically just taking care of yourself in so many different ways. And it sounds basic, right? Like, of course, we have to take care of ourselves. But honestly, as teachers, there's so much that we're thinking about every single day. Our work is about pouring into other people, essentially. And so these little things can really easily slip by the wayside. You're skipping your workouts 1 week and then it turns into 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or you're not packing enough for lunch or packing healthy enough stuff for lunch. It's really easy to fall off the wagon. And I'm talking about this stuff not because I have mastered self-care or anything like that. For me, it's like an ongoing thing. It's not like, oh, I'm good on self-care. I'm good to go. I've mastered this. It's more of like, okay, in August and September, not so good for me. But then like now I'm doing a little bit better with it. But a couple months down the road, it could be a whole other issue. I think these are things that we have to continue to work on and not feel guilty if we're not doing them, because that doesn't take care of ourselves either. Putting guilt on ourselves, but it's something that we have to be mindful of and thinking about all the time. And the reason for this is, first of all, I believe that you are here for a reason, and I believe that you are important, and I believe that it's important for you to be happy and healthy and take care of yourself just for that reason. But also, when you're happy, healthy, taking care of yourself, you are really able to pour out into others as well. So, this affects your students at school, because I don't know about you, but when I'm just like running on empty, it impacts my teaching as much as I want to say like, yes, like I'm doing my very best every day, all day long. Like it does have an impact. When you're not okay, your teaching isn't as great as you would like it to be, right? it impacts the people around you. So if I'm not taking good care of myself, I might accidentally like snap at my husband about something that's really minor or something that's not his fault. I'm not as good of a friend when I'm not taking care of myself. So I believe that you deserve to be taken care of. You deserve to take care of yourself just because you are inherently worthy. But at the same time, it also benefits others. So if you can't get motivated just to do it for yourself, one motivation you can think about is all the people around you that your self-care impacts. So that's why this stuff is so important. I actually emailed out my email list about this. And so if you got that email, I hope that was helpful to you. But I really feel like this topic is so important that I needed to have a live chat about it. And as I get into the tips here, I would love to also hear your tips, hear what works for you. I love hearing what other people do, and I think we can all benefit. So I would love if you would chime in if you think of anything. Hey, Mara, Sid, Amanda, welcome, guys. And then in a little bit, after I go through some of these tips, that's what I'm going to talk about, how to win the self-care gift card. Okay, so tip number 1 is just to prioritize working out and also to prioritize sleep. So some tips with both of those. For working out, for me, making it routine is really helpful. So after I'm done with work, after I'm done with my work for learning at the primary pond, I almost always, I would say 99% of the time, I do some kind of workout. And some days it's just walking. It's not intense. I used to have a gym membership a couple of years ago, and it was hard for me to get myself to the gym. Some people are so great about it. And I do like going to yoga class once in a while when I can, once a week. But for me, what really works is to work out at home. So we have all like a room upstairs where I have some free weights, and I'll do these videos on the Pop Sugar app that I like. We have a treadmill too, so that helps a little bit. It was an investment, but it's definitely worth it, because for me, I save so much time by not like having to drive somewhere to work out, because anything would be, I would say probably at least like a gym would be at least 15 minutes away from where I live. So that saves me a lot of time. And it also helps me prioritize working out, because I'm not having that excuse of, oh, well, I don't go to the gym or all this stuff, because it's literally in my house. So that helps a lot. We'll talk more too at the end here about how you can get yourself to do this stuff. But a workout buddy is a great thing to have, or literally just putting it on your calendar is great too. Oh, people also say, I've never really done this, but if you're doing it in the morning or even after work, I would say you can lay out your clothes and have everything ready so it doesn't feel like such a huge task to get dressed or go wherever you need to go. Laying out your clothes and having everything ready can be really helpful too. Now let's talk about prioritizing sleep. So sleep is important, obviously. There are so many things that can get in the way of that, right? Like having a phone in the bedroom can sometimes prevent you from getting as much sleep as you like. I like to keep my phone actually right over there and here in my office, and it really doesn't go into the bedroom unless it's like during the day and I'm folding laundry or something. So my phone stays here. You can, if you have trouble getting yourself to go to bed on time, you can actually, instead of an alarm in the morning, you can set an alarm, well, not instead of, but in addition to, you can set an alarm for bedtime. And at that time, you shut everything down, start getting ready for bed. It's also nice to have some unwinding time before your actual bedtime, right? Because not all of us can go all day and then immediately dive into bed. I know I personally can't. So that's something that might help as well. Kim says, Kim likes to go to Pilates. She says if she has scheduled classes at Club Pilates, she will show up instead of skipping and paying a service charge. Kim, that is so smart. I love that. Often committing myself, just like with Kim, if I commit myself and I'm paying for something, it's much less likely that I'm going to skip it if I just decide in the moment, like, oh, I'm going to go to yoga class, right? If I commit beforehand and sign up on the website, so much more likely to go. So I definitely agree with that, Kim. Kim also lays her clothes out the night before. Yes, love that. Another thing that helps with self-care is to be really smart about what goes on your to-do list in the first place. So sometimes I will just start adding stuff to my to-do list, like do this, do that, and then I'm going through it, and it's like I just I don't have time to do all of it. Time is finite, and my time is limited. And so then I have to think, okay, is this something that I absolutely have to do? Can I get help from somebody else to do it, like a volunteer or at school, or my husband or somebody else? Is this like, if I plan this like big thing for the kids, can I like make it a little bit less fancy? You know, not every lesson needs to be the most amazing thing in the world. So sometimes I will take things off my to-do list, but it's even more helpful to be smart about what goes on there in the first place. Another thing, and this actually kind of goes along with what I just said, is ask for help. When you do have so much and you're feeling overwhelmed about all these things you need to do, and there's just not enough time, there are so many places that you can go for help, right? At school, you know, your teammates are probably busy, but maybe it is something where they could just make extra copies for you, or ask for parent volunteers. You can have them come into the classroom, but you can also just send stuff home with them to cut out, and that can save you a little bit of time too. You can ask for volunteers from local businesses at home. You can ask for help from anyone who lives with you, whether it's a roommate or a spouse or, you know, another family member. Don't be afraid to ask for help. And for me, this is hard sometimes. Like if you know, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make this dinner. I wanna make this dinner for me and my husband, and I'm determined to get it made, but then something comes up or my evening is just really busy. Sometimes it's hard for me to just say like, yes, like, will you please make this dinner? Because I want to make this so bad and I know this can be really good and I'm excited about it. But the reality is that I need help making the dinner because I just don't have enough time, or it would make us eat at like 8:30 at night. So even though asking for help does not come naturally to me, it's something that I try to do. And when you ask for help, I forget where it came from, but someone said, ask for help early and often. Oh, it was Kate Northrup, I think, is who said it. So when you ask for help early, you're not getting to the point where you're so overloaded and stressed and your request for help doesn't come out very nicely. If you ask for help early, that helps prevent that from happening. If you ask for help often, it will become more comfortable for you and you will be more likely to do it in the future. So ask for help early and often. Didn't make that up. I'm pretty sure that came from Kate Northrup, but I love that. Joanna, that's awesome. Joanna says she has a great group of parents who will cut out and sort things that she needs. That is such a big help. I think about one year when I was teaching kindergarten in the classroom. This was before I became a reading specialist. I was finishing my master's degree. What else? We bought a house that year. I'm pretty sure that was that year. What else? So I had my master's degree, the house. I'm pretty sure we got married during that school year. And I don't even know. I think I had like a health issue too going on, but I would not have survived that year without the parent volunteers. They were amazing. They made it so that I really could get most of the stuff done during my plan times. I had a decent amount of plan time back then, so I wasn't having to come in super, super early. I wasn't having to stay late. I couldn't stay late because I had my master's classes, but they were a total lifesaver. So that is awesome, Joanna, that you do have a great group of parents. Hey, Jennifer, so glad you're here. Another thing that I don't do super often, I'm like really picky about my produce and like how squishy is the avocado. But one thing you can do if you're having a nutty week, and I will do this if like, you know, maybe I'm doing a bunch of webinars during the week and it's just a busy week. You can order groceries for delivery, or you can do one of those things where you order them ahead of time and then you just drive into the special spot and then they'll load up your car, because that saves a ton of time. And for me, like a mental block, this actually just happened to me earlier. I didn't like really super need anything, but there were a few things that I was kind of like, okay, like it would be nice to have these delivered. And I had learned recently that the company Shipt, SHIPT, will bring Target stuff to my house. Dangerous, right? But I went on the website and I was like, oh, I'm gonna look at this. And then it was like, I don't know, it was like $7 or $8. And I was like, no, never mind, like click out. And so in this particular case, it was fine. Like this was not emergency stuff. We have food in the house. It was just a nice to have thing, but I would encourage you to push past that initial reaction you might have of like, oh no, I don't want to spend $7, because like, really? And I know it can be hard if you're budgeting, but sometimes $7, like it's only $7. It's way worth your sanity if you're having one of those weeks where you're just running around. And like, think about what it would feel like to have that hour back in your life, whether it's literally just for you to sit on the couch or to spend time with your kids or to get something else done once in a while. And if you want to do it every week, like, more power to you, go for it. I say it's worth doing something like ordering groceries. I also really do love my Amazon Prime account, and Amazon Prime has gotten more expensive as time goes on. But if I think about all the shipping and all the time that it saves me, it is 100% worth it. And we do this thing called Subscribe and Save, where you can have stuff come every month and you choose different things. And I think it gives you 5% off depending on how much you choose. But like our kitty litter, like tea or something, just random stuff that we use on a regular basis, it just comes to our house for no extra charge other than the Amazon Prime fee that you pay for everything included, like shipping and whatever. But it takes like the mental load off of me of worrying about like, oh, I need to get kitty litter, or we need this, or we need that. Not only does it save a trip, but it also saves mental space. And that is also awesome for self-care. Jennifer says, I think she's talking about the grocery delivery, $5 for shop right from home, saves me time and money. Yes, 100%. Also, honestly, if you think about going to the grocery store and you're like, ooh, I want those chips. Ooh, I want this. If you plan out ahead of time what you have to buy, then I would guess that those like impulse buys that I know I do, especially when I'm like tired and hungry when I go to the grocery store, you don't make those impulse buys. So you really like save yourself money. It makes up for whatever extra little cost that you're paying. Another little self-care tip that I have started doing is to prep my lunches ahead of time. And honestly, this combines ask for help and prep lunches ahead of time, because my husband will make chicken for wraps and salads and all that stuff. And he does that on Sunday. But I started this tradition because it is so much easier than having to worry like the day of or the night before what you're gonna have for lunch. And for me, it also helps me eat healthier. We have like bagged salad in the fridge, and I'll just like stick lettuce, or arugula is really what I'm on now, and chicken and a little dressing. And then, you know, it's not fancy, but I'm good to go. And just like batching that ahead of time is really helpful. I use my slow cooker a lot. I also will prep like just chopping veggies and stuff that can be prepped ahead of time. I'll do that often on Sundays just to save myself a little sanity. It may seem like, oh, well, it doesn't take a lot of time for me to make my lunch or to chop this stuff for dinner, but I found that it makes a big difference in me just feeling like calm and relaxed and not worrying about one more thing, because there already are so many things that we're dealing with in our daily lives. Hey, Ashley, thanks for tuning in. Speaking of batching, you can, in addition to batching things like making lunches and prepping stuff for meals, you can batch things in your home life and your work life, and it'll save you time. Batching is not something that I made up, but it's the practice of doing like more than one like task at once. So for example, the mail. We'll get the mail throughout the week, and I will just stick it in this drawer in this table that we have in the family room. And I don't look at it unless I'm looking for something like specific that I need. So I'll stick it in there, and then on Sundays, I go through it all and do it all at once. And I believe that that saves me time, because I can sit down with, you know, stamps if I need to mail anything, and envelopes and pay bills online, or whatever I'm doing. But doing it all at once really doesn't take that long. But if you think about it, if you're trying to do that every day or every couple of days, it eats up time. And the actual act of like sitting down, getting in the mental state of like, okay, I need to do this, I need to pay that, that takes up time. So I really like to batch tasks like that. I also will do this for my lesson planning too. And this was especially, I would say, more so true when I was in the classroom before becoming a reading specialist. But in the classroom, I would kind of know like, okay, in our science program, we're going to be working on this for the next couple of weeks. So instead of doing those plans week by week, I would sit down and plan out 3 weeks in advance. What I wouldn't do is I wouldn't put it on my daily planner. I would put out like the next week of what I thought we would get done, but I would have it in a separate document, just like little, like whatever I would normally put in my lesson planner, I would have that typed out in a list, because then if we don't get through what I think we're going to get through during the week, then I can just take that list and stick things in and rearrange and all that stuff. But I've done the thinking work of sitting down and like figuring out what we need to work on, and just that getting in that mental space of like science and focusing on that. It's really helpful. And then if you have like a list of lessons, you can basically just copy and paste them for a couple of weeks. Maybe you do a month at a time. You can do it for different subjects too, of course. But if that works well for you, I know it works well for me, that is an option for something at school. My next tip is to plan something nice for you every single day. And whatever that nice thing is will really depend on what makes you happy, right? And this is not, I would say that I'm not great about doing this every single week. But if there's a week where I'm like, this is gonna be a really crazy week, or I'm just feeling really tired, I will try to put something on my calendar just for me. And I use a digital calendar, Google Calendar runs my life. I will literally schedule in, like if I want a little bit of time to read, like 20 minutes, I will just stick that on my calendar. And it sounds silly, but that's the way that I get myself to do something nice for me. Could be, working out. Like I kind of take my workouts for granted, I have to say. Sometimes I don't want to do them, so it doesn't feel like something nice for myself, even though it is. So I would say for this, pick something that feels fun, feels nice, feels like self-care or spoiling yourself a little bit. Could literally be having a piece of chocolate. If you just have something to look forward to and you plan it out in advance, I think that planning out in advance is key. Then it just makes your week happier, and you feel like you're not just constantly pouring out into others, like teaching is so much, or our family lives too, that you're also filling up your cup, as I like to call it. And then actually I have a bonus tip that I forgot, and then we're gonna do our giveaway in a second here and talk about how to make yourself do this stuff. Another thing that I like that might sound counterintuitive, because this is all about self-care and taking care of yourself, but doing something nice for someone else sometimes really cheers me up when I am in a grumpy mood. So this something is really easy and fast. You can do something more elaborate. Like I was emailing with a teacher who said she was going to write nice notes to her teammates, which I thought was so sweet, and I love that. But for me, if I don't have a lot of time, but I'm feeling super grumpy, I will go and find a local business that I really like, that has given us good service or whatever, and I will just write them a nice Google review. And that takes literally like 5 minutes. Of course, like, yes, I love volunteering and doing all that other stuff, but if you don't have a lot of time, something really simple like that can really fill your cup. For me anyway, doing something nice for other people, that makes me happy too. So that's just another way that I take care of myself, but also take care of others. So bonus tip, let's see, maybe it's more like bonus 2 tips. But my bonus tip is to focus on your breathing during the day. And this might sound a little bit weird, but if you're anything like me, sometimes you will just be like going, you're stressed out, and my body, I would say, shows that I'm feeling stressed out, or I feel tense. Maybe my heart rate is faster. I'm not breathing as deeply. And so what I've learned to do during the day is just take a couple of timeouts. And when I notice that I'm feeling like that, just take a few deep breaths. And what I really like to do when I'm good about this is to start my day with some of that. There's an app called Headspace. There's another one called Calm. And I really like to do like a little mini yoga flow. I do it in my closet at the very beginning of the day to kind of set a calm tone. I like yoga because you're linking like movement to your breath. And so that's a way that I kind of set a good tone for the day. I just like look it up on YouTube, and there'll be a short video that I do. But checking in with myself throughout the day with my breathing is really helpful. So that's my last tip. Now let's go ahead and do our gift card giveaway. So I didn't tell you what kind of gift card it was because the winner is actually going to get to choose. So I know that everybody's self-care is different. Like some people like to knit. I would probably stab myself in the eye if I tried to knit. But you know what I mean. Your brand of self-care is specific to you. And so for this giveaway, my winner is going to win a $25 gift card to anything of your choice. As long as I can buy and send you the gift card online, go to the website, check out whatever, send it to you, then that is totally up for grabs. So if you would like to win the gift card, go ahead and let me know like what store or what shop you would like your gift card to. You can leave that in the comments. I'm going to keep going about a couple of tips for how to make yourself do this stuff. And then when I'm done with that, I will pull my winner. So go ahead and start typing your answers in. All right, while we're waiting for everybody to let us know where they want their gift card to, let's talk about how to get yourself to do all of this stuff, right? Like plan something nice for yourself, batching tasks, prepping lunch, ordering groceries, asking for help, working out, sleeping, all that stuff. How do we get ourselves to do this? And there are different things that are going to work for different people for sure. For me, I talked about this a little bit earlier, but if I put something on my calendar, then chances are pretty good that I am going to do it, right? So I use my Google Calendar, put something in my phone. That's what works for me. But different things work for different people. If you want to work out more, have a workout buddy. You can plan to go to the gym a couple of times a week, or even just like after school, depending on where you are, it's been so freezing lately, go for a walk or a run around school. Make it so easy for you and your buddy to make this happen. And then also you have the added accountability of, you know, the other person's waiting on you. And if you don't show up, then you're basically letting them down. So that works really well for some people. I think it was Kim was talking about scheduling your classes. This kind of goes along with my calendar thing too. But if I have money to lose, if I have money at stake, then you better believe I'm going to go to yoga. If I've already paid for that class, like I'm showing up. So that's something that you can do as well. Put some kind of money at stake. Trying to think of what else. Calendar. Let me know if you think of another way to get yourself to do this stuff. But for me, calendar really works. Accountability buddies are great too. If you're in my kindergarten literacy club and you want an accountability buddy, in the Facebook group, feel free to post and we will set you up with one. But those are some different things that will hopefully get yourself to follow through with all of this stuff. And like I said at the beginning, it's honestly a journey, you know, like I haven't mastered self-care. Like sometimes I'm better about it than others. It's this process of constantly reminding myself like, yes, things are busy, but as I said at the very beginning, when you take care of yourself, that flows out into all of the people around you. So it's just a good thing overall. All right, I'm gonna scroll and find my winner. Anybody who commented with the location or store or whatever that you would like a self-care gift card to is eligible to win. And my winner is Megan. Megan says, thanks for all your tips. One of my favorite things to do to chill out is latch hook. That's awesome. I order all of mine on Amazon. Megan, that's so awesome. Email me. It's Allison, ALISON, at learningattheprimarypond.com, and I will send you that Amazon gift card. But you make some pretty awesome stuff. That is super, and I'm a little bit jealous, but congratulations. All right, well, if you know a teacher who could use some self-care and you want to remind them, lovingly remind them to take care of themselves, not just during this busy holiday season, but all year long, feel free to tag them. I would love for you to share this with them. Congratulations again to Megan. I hope that this was helpful to you, and I hope that you have a really good week. I hope that you try at least one thing. Would love to hear what you want to try in the next coming couple of days. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.